Welcome to Changing Suits. We're your hosts, Bal
and Taj, discussing the latest news, views, and general life for us Western Asians.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Hi, my name's Bal.
My name's Taj.
Today you could tell with the way we've introed, it's already different with the way we've introed. We've never introduced kids on this show, so we're really excited. So last week, we saw a lovely advert that popped up on our Facebook and our Instagrams and every other social media that we could see. And we're so lucky. So today we've got Sahib, Sach, and their mummy Harjot. And so there we are. We've got a bit of a laugh there because I said mummy's name maybe. But we wanted to talk to you three to really talk about how you got into, well, firstly your lives and what you do and what you've been up to in your summer holidays, but also how do you get onto a Burberry advert? Okay, so can I get the kids to just introduce themselves first? What's your names?
Sahib, Sach.
Lovely. And how old are you?
7, 4.
You're pretty much the same age as my kids. And just before we started recording, we were like, we need to send them to bed after this so we can talk to mummy afterwards. But just tell us. So firstly, what have you been doing during your summer holidays so far?
We've been doing... What have we been doing, Sahib? Playing. Been playing outside.
That sounds really fun.
And the week... What? The 2 weeks before... the holidays, it was really hot Monday and Tuesday, and we got the swimming pool out, which was really hot.
Wow. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yay.
And are we glad that it's summer holidays and you don't have to go to school?
Yes.
Pretty much a response you get from all kids, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us, how do you get onto a Burberry advert?
I take pictures.
You take pictures. And what pictures do you take then? Of you in clothes, doing... What do you do in the pictures?
Smile.
You smile.
Do you enjoy when they take pictures of you? Is it fun?
It's not. So you're saying, no, it's not fun. Why?
Just like...
He's definitely changed his mind this week. You just see the camera and he's got a massive smile. So he knows. He's just...
I could tell
I was going to say he's photogenic, and you can tell he's got the personality.
And both of you, Sach and Sahib, you've got beautiful smiles, so I can see why they want to take photos of you.
Thank you.
No, it's fine. It's true. And how do you feel, Sach, that Sahib was all over the Burberry advert, and I know he's done some other photos as well. How does that make you feel?
Very happy for my brother.
What do you have to do as an older sister to make him happy that he's taking photos? Because if he's having a bad week sometimes and he's like, no, I'm not taking any photos, what do you say to him?
I'm not really there, so I don't really say anything.
You don't say anything?
No,
okay.
because I'm not there.
Sahib, what do you do? So if you're feeling unhappy and you don't want to take the photos, what do you just automatically put your beautiful smile on, or what do you do to get yourself happy?
I just do it.
You just do it.
I like that. That's brilliant.
We need to show our kids. Maybe they'll listen to us as well. Do you enjoy? So obviously you get to wear different clothes, lots of different clothes. How does that make you feel? Do you like it?
Okay.
No? Do you prefer sitting in front of the TV then?
Doesn't everyone? And Sahib, and you've got your beautiful butt guard that you put on as well, don't you? Yeah. And my kids have got butt gear as well. And when they saw you in that advert, they were like, oh my God, that's amazing. So you're inspiring so many people. So thank you, both of you.
You're doing such a good job. Why do you think this might be a bit of a hard question for a child, but let's see. Why do you think it's important that you're on those photos?
So more more Sikh boys get to see that they can wear a burqa and they're not different like anyone else. Everyone's the same.
That's brilliant, Such. What a beautiful answer.
And it doesn't matter if you have long hair.
Can I say, and you're 7 years old, I would not have been able to give that answer at 7 years old. Are you laughing at me? I don't think I could give that answer now, and I'm nearly 37, so I'm 30 years older, and you gave such a good answer. How do you think your parents feel with the fact that you're in the adverts?
Good.
Yeah? How do they make you feel happy that you're doing it? Because sometimes, like you said, you're a bit grumpy and you're like, oh, I don't want to wear those clothes. What does your mum and dad say to you so that you put that beautiful smile back on?
If he does this, then he gets this.
Yeah, we do that.
He does,
Love it. All parents do
does
that.
something, then he gets something.
Yeah. You get brilliant sweets and toys.
Yeah.
Don't you just love the fact that when you ask a child a question, you're just going to hear the true answer?
No. Scary.
We all do it.
No. Have you got any more adverts that you're going to be doing that we should be looking out for?
No.
You do.
No.
You do. Remember?
Sahib doesn't want to reveal his secrets.
Yeah. He doesn't remember much of them.
What one?
Don't know if I can say it.
It's okay. You don't need to say it in that case. And who takes you to your photo shoots?
Mommy.
Mummy. Very good. And do you have to go far away, or is it all close by near your home?
Do we take the train? Yeah.
You have gone on the train.
Yeah.
You've gone on the train. So you get to go really like different places, don't you?
Yeah.
And not all children get to do that. So you're quite lucky in that, aren't you?
Do you take a favourite toy with you or anything when you go to the photo shoots?
You
don't.
I don't. I take a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
Wow.
And tell me, have you been able to do the Rubik's Cube so all the colours are on one side?
No.
Okay, that makes me feel good because I've tried it many times so I can't do it either. So not only would you have been giving me good answers, but you'd be able to do the Rubik's Cube as well. And I'll be like, oh, I'm going to have to stop this podcast and cry.
Saj, do you do photo shoots as well? Because I've seen you on Instagram.
She's done one before.
Yeah, it looked very nice because you've got your shoots on Instagram, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy doing them as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favourite one was this one that I could jump on the bed. I could do hula hooping. So I got play on Rubik's Cube. Yeah.
So you're allowed to jump on the bed?
Yeah. When I was doing my shoot, I was jumping on the bed.
Really? Are you allowed to jump on the bed at home?
No, I'm not allowed to because I got a bunk bed and I don't want it to tilt to the side and then fall over.
Oh, no,
I don't want to bump my head. Because you're on top, you're underneath me, that's why.
Yeah, that would be, don't jump on the bunk bed if you're on the bottom bunk. That's not a good idea. So since it is quite late for you to be awake, because usually your bedtime's at 7 o'clock, should we let you go to sleep?
No. We're going to stay upstairs with Daddy.
Oh, really?
And watch football.
And watch football?
Not. Yes, we are. No.
And did you watch the football when the women were playing football the other day? Did you watch when they won?
I didn't. I went to the stadium.
Are you kidding?
The Man United one.
And Man
you went to another football
ladies
match.
one now.
No.
Another one.
Boys.
And as such, how did it make you feel when the women won the football?
Very happy because it was their first time.
Yeah.
England women to win. I don't know how many times the England men have won, but they
hardly ever. Don't worry about them. It's the women that won.
No.
Am I going to create a fight? Oh dear, I better not say that then. No, they did very well, didn't they? Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave them an extra. How many
They
minutes?
played for 2 hours.
They played for 2 hours.
Shall I tell you something funny? So my husband said that in the evening, so when it's your bedtime about 8 o'clock, he said, oh, the football match is going to start, right? So I'm like, okay, we're getting ready for the football match. And I turn the news on and they've already won. So we missed the whole football match because my husband gave me the wrong time. How silly is that?
Very silly.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for being on Changing Suits. So lovely to have you.
And we look forward to any more adverts that both of you do, and let us know, because we'll definitely shout out to both of you and say, well done. Yeah?
Yeah.
And carry on with the good work. You're making us all so proud.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Good night, kids. You better go to sleep. Or mummy's
Why not?
You're not going to go to sleep.
No.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. So, I wanted to introduce you to Harjot, who is Sahib and Sach's mum. The kids have gone to bed because I didn't want to get in trouble. We're like, you got to go. But Harjot, can you give us a bit of an introduction about yourself, what you do, where you live? Not where you live, that sounds like a bit of a strange question. But what got you into the kids' modelling, I guess?
I'm Harjot, and we're based in East London.
Whoop whoop. We're from Ilford, by the way. So.
Oh yeah, I won't say where we're exactly from.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Sure, it's put down somewhere. My normal career is banking, but I started the kids. I wouldn't say modelling. They just got into more content from about 2 years ago. There's two different main sort of reasons why it all came about. First of all, when that young boy in, I think, Telford got attacked outside his school, that really resonated with me personally, having a son. He was only probably 2 at the time, and I knew that he was going to wear patka. And then the bug, I felt sick that could have been my son. And then also a friend of mine who owns a clothing company started her brand, and she used her children and our children in her shoot, which then was in John Lewis, and it got a really great feedback from our community. So it was those two main reasons, from a confidence side, from a side where we just wanted to show that we're not the typical what people think about, Indians and they're freshies and things. It's not how we all are.
What's I can assume, but I just want our listeners to understand this as well, because I remember the Telford attack as well, and completely understand where you're coming from. What affected you so much to even bring it up today?
Yeah, the guilt that I felt of making my son keep his skish when he had no kind of say in it. He was too young. As a parent, you try and do the right thing. Yes, I may have shorter hair, or my husband may not have a full dari, but we've made those informed decisions as adults, But as having kids, and I don't know how I felt with such not so much. Having long hair on a girl it's not a big deal. It's, that's the kind of in thing at the moment as well. But having him with long hair, and then obviously having his butka from about 2.5, really, I've just felt bad that I'm doing this to him and I'm putting him down a path where he doesn't have a say for quite a while, I guess, because he still would be quite young. I would, if we ever had the conversation, I'd want him to be really well educated and informed about why he's going to make, either way.
Yeah.
So that really hurt to think I'm doing this and he's going to get the brunt of it because of something we've chosen to do.
Do you find that regardless of whatever the thing is, where there's a minority of people, whether it's the long hair or whether you're a different color of skin or where you come from, where you said you feel guilty, it sort of resonates with me because my kids have long hair as well, so I understand completely what you're saying. But the guilt part of it has sort of surprised me actually in your comment, because for me, when I was looking at that Telford attack, it was a case of, wow, how can anyone do that to anybody, regardless of whatever the minority situation was? So that's a really interesting way that you've looked at it. Taj, I know you wanted to say something in
I was
regards.
just going to say, it's amazing that you saw something that you were really upset about and affected all of us in the community, and actually actively are doing something about it, showing, kids in the limelight and showing that this is normal. So thank you, first of all, because what you're doing is helping others in the community as well.
Yeah, it's really strange because traditionally, I don't have like vast knowledge of Sikhi and stuff. I've done the GCSEs, I've done that, but we were both raised by, very religious families. So my stance on things is very different about how I learn and how I feel the younger generation pick things up on. I think it's great if you can teach people the real history behind, the stories and everything. But I don't know enough to go down that route. I can't put, literacy out talking about XYZ. This for me is the way that I know that I am comfortable. And I think it also attaches to a lot of people. People, fashion, content, that, days out, all that kind of stuff is modern, and it's just what's happening in the world. And I feel people would just kind of get it more. I would like to have a deeper knowledge, but I just don't, and this is just how I thought would work.
And what kind of response have you got? Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, Taj, you need to get them on. That's literally what I said to her when I saw it. What's been the response from the community?
It's been insane, and I think on Friday I said to my husband, let's have a debrief. Like, we haven't really spoken because we've just been so busy. I said, does it feel like what people are saying? And he said, no. I said, maybe because it's just him. It's it's our son. But I don't know if I would feel the same if I saw it. I'd be really happy, when I've seen things in the media and stuff. I think it's great. But this is taking it to a whole nother level. I think that we're not very used to, but bugs are more common. And there are, Singhs doing things like Singh Street Style, I Am Sapra. They're inquisitive. They are doing well. And you do see them pop up here and there. I think it was because it was a boy and he's small and he has a budka. Yeah, it's been, I was speechless all last week because I didn't know how to kind of word what was going on.
I think also another thing that I felt when I saw Sahib was, this is a different career path. Okay, he's young at the moment, but we're not going down the traditional, not that he'd start doing the accounting and stuff like that at his young age, but this is different from the norm. And for that, I was even happy seeing him on the advert just because of that.
Yeah.
How has your family responded to this? What has been their reaction?
I think, in all honesty, I think some immediate family were very concerned of the whole privacy aspect. Like Indians are very much like, don't make a noise, don't make a bang, just do your work, do your marriage, and let's just stay quiet. So I think some people struggled with the exposure that it got. But there was other relatives who were calling me crying, sending me WhatsApp. I had to turn my phone off that first morning for about 2 hours because it was just too much. And I turned it on. It was like, my mussy, my cousins, we're so proud of you. We know you've been trying so hard. So yeah, it's been really great. And not, when people say about privacy, of course, I'm not going to expose my kids to anything untowards, and people said to go on TikTok, and I went on it for a bit, and I saw the exposure was really big, and you've got a lot of randoms, and just the reach of TikTok's too scary for me. So we came off that. I don't use that. I feel I do go through my contacts. I delete people that I think why are you on my page, or you haven't got followings, or you've got no images, you don't need to be on there. So I'm very conscious about what I'm doing and who sees it to an extent. But obviously this was taken out of my hands.
I mean, on that point, I wanted more. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go down that route of the negativity because there's always negativity. And the reason we've got you on here is to say, oh my God, you've done a fantastic job, and you have. What got you thinking about the kids actually getting into, what would you call it? You didn't want to call it modelling. What should I say it's called?
I mean, they do model. That's just the fact. I think we are all into fashion in our house, and always have been. And it just felt like Such's wardrobe as a baby was incredible. And I always felt like boys when I had Sahib, I said, "You're not fun. Like, I can't dress you up in anything." But
boys do not have the best clothes
No,
in the shops. They're so boring.
so
Completely
boring.
agree with that.
I was constantly looking for things, and again, I just wanted him to rock his butka and still rock his outfits.
I love that. I love that the way that he said that.
He's going to rock it, yes.
And how her side said that he doesn't enjoy it, but kids change their mind 1 second to the next, to be honest.
Yeah.
How is he generally finding this?
I was thinking, oh my God, if anyone hears that, they're going to be like, why is she forcing him?
Now we all do it, don't worry about it.
Because to be honest, kids change from 1 minute to the other, and we as mothers know that.
Yeah.
And our listeners will know that. He seemed happy. He looked like he had fun. What else could you?
Yeah.
And hey, kids just want to sit in front of the TV. I mean, we can't allow that. So
for us, like when Satch did a shoot last week, she was around young creatives like talent directors, videographers, two young sisters who own their own clothing brand, and the stuff that she got to experience, she was filming in an old hospital in King's Cross. You don't get to do that in your everyday life, so for me, we travel a lot, we're a worldly family, and my friend circle is very diverse, and so is my husband's, and I just want the kids to have different exposures. I don't want them to think this is the be all and end all, that we go to school, we do our classes, and that's it.
There is more in the world out there, not just how our parents kind of brought up our generation as do this, like you said, quietly get through life, don't make a fuss.
Exactly.
And on that point, I mean, you mentioned it earlier, you did have family members who said, keep it quiet. I mean, we understand that's the whole point of this podcast, trying to open these discussions up. What's your response to keep it quiet and obviously do it in the more, I'm going to say, traditional way, I guess?
I didn't respond to those messages.
Fair enough.
I just ignored them because everything, the vibe around this whole thing was so positive, and you could just feel in the air, like in our house and within our circles, that it was such good vibrations going on. I just thought, I'm not even going to entertain or even overthink the negatives, because there's always going to be negatives. People on comments are putting, oh, can you see, like a previous video that I put out, oh, could you imagine XYZ having a child with a hijab? And so many people jumped in the comments to be like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Why not? Yeah.
But again, the person who wrote the comment was probably an old school mindset, and majority of the time you can't change people's thoughts when they think like that. So why bother? Because you would just frustrate I would frustrate myself trying to explain to people, we do things differently.
But you're keeping it positive and getting through the. And I looked at the comments after the Burberry advert, and I was like, yeah, I totally agree with pretty much. I think it was 99% of the comments. Yeah. It's like, yeah, well done. So that 1%, what are you going to do? There's always going to be a one.
I definitely would say 98% has been positive, and those 2%, they can't even kind of knock down what he's done.
Good.
And how does sorry if I'm using again the wrong term, modelling. How does his modelling life fit in with his school studies and football? It sounds like he really enjoys football.
Yeah.
So how do you work your week?
To be honest, he hasn't had loads of jobs. This year he's done Burberry, he's done another brand a week after Burberry. So he hasn't had low attendance or anything. He's been in the 94% or something for the one day that he did take out. And school was so supportive. When you've done the BBC with his dad, the school was over the moon because it was BBC and it's educational. And he took half a day or something. But the school is, and we live in an area where our counsellor is a Singh as well. So he's been on board. So it's been quite good.
How, looking on the other side, and I've got two really important questions. I'm going to forget what the other one is, but I think this is important. How are brands now approaching diversity? Because we know that BAME and diversity, they're the buzzwords, but what experience have you had? Because you've been doing this for a while. What's your experience?
I would say that you would have traditionally the white, blue eyes or brown hair, brown eyes, blue eyes. Then they would have someone who is black, probably with their afro out, because they tokenize afros, and you rarely see children who are allowed to have cane rows or dreads. And then I think there was a period where they had Chinese Asian, or that kind of Asian, because during Asian hate when those attacks are happening, they did put out a lot of calls for Asian Chinese models because they knew they'd have to tick that box. I think there's a lack of South Asian representation, and if they do use South Asian children, they tend to do colorism where they go for the darker tone to say, look, we've ticked the box, which is something I've noticed. I don't know if it's going to change. I'm really not sure, but once this was out, I would have expected more brands to have reached out. We have had a few, and we're in conversations with quite a few, but not as many as I would have thought, which is
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
What's your thought of the fact that it is a tick box exercise? Because you can always look at, was it positive discrimination, I suppose they call it?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? The fact that they do have to tick it, so it opens the opportunity up.
I definitely think, I definitely don't want this to be like a one trick kind of thing, which is what I'm nervous about. And I also feel maybe brands think that as well, that they don't want to just jump on the bandwagon straight away to be like, oh yeah, we're doing it now as well, because they would look stupid, right? Because they've had all this time to do it and they haven't. But it is hard to kind of feel maybe it is a one-time thing. That's scary. But we're going to still keep doing what we're doing, and we're working with other brands who are going to use his face in massive, like we're talking to 2-3 of the biggest high-end children's retailers at the moment, and we're going to be doing work with them. So his face, you're going to see his face for a bit, which is great.
And that can't be a bad thing. He's so cute. The other thing, I suppose it goes back to the career thing. It is a less traditional route to go. I mean, a lot of things are, moving on. If someone was interested, because like you said, yes, there's that positive discrimination. There's always that fear that it's just a tick box exercise as well.
Mm-hmm.
If someone did want to go into that modelling side of it and have their kids perhaps look at this as an opportunity, what would you advise them?
I would do it. But you need to do it for the right reasons. For me, that, I never got into this to be like, oh yeah, I want free things or I want to get paid. Like we people may not know, but you actually can't take any money in your own name. Everything has to go through a child's bank account. So they have their accounts, which we aren't even allowed to touch. So that for me isn't even a factor. Never was, never will be. I do see people out there who are not doing it justice. They have been given opportunities, and I think that they could represent better. So I think if you're a family and you've got a Singh or a girl, just kind of stay true to how you would expect the community to receive you.
In regards to, when you hear about modelling and all this sort of stuff, there's a lot of negativity around, I suppose, even getting into the modelling world. I don't know if that's more for women and, the stories that I've been reading. Kate Moss was, for example, in the news last week talking about her experiences. Have you ever seen that towards, I suppose, the fact that you are South Asian, or obviously he does have long hair? Have you seen the negativity?
No, they've always been treated with quite like a lot of respect on sets. Companies have been really great. I mean, Burberry, they hired an entertainer to keep the kids busy, which was really nice. They were like, we know how stressful it can be. We don't want that for the parents. We just want the parents just to make sure the kid's fine. But the entertainer was playing with him. He's the one that's in the video, throwing the teddy bears up with him, making balloon art with them. So yeah, we've always had really positive. I mean, there's a long time waiting around sometimes, and you're waiting for shoots and other kids to get changed and do their bit. But he's just busy. He'll eat. He'll play games. He'll play with other children. So yeah, he's not so negative.
He's just having fun. He's not at school some of these times. Who wouldn't love that, right? And in regards to the fact that you've said yourself, it is a positive. The community has taken it very positive. Has it opened any doors in regards to the community and the face that I suppose you've given us as a South Asian community, and yes, the Sikh community as well, but a South Asian community in general as well?
yeah, we've been talking to so many different people for different things. Like you guys on Sunday, we're talking to BBC Inside and Ethics um, radio show. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, but it'll be interesting to do.
Get them to bed early.
Yeah,
kids do wake up early.
Won't be then. They'll be all right.
It's summer holidays. They'll wake up at 5 o'clock. You'll be fine.
Tell me about it. Yeah, just talking to younger people who really want to talk about South Asian representation, like students and things. So many students have got in contact, which is so nice. Just the doors that it has opened to be able to have discussions with people has been tremendous.
And how do you feel as a parent having to, when we do clubs like football club and this club and that club, you actually feel like a parent. You're like, oh my God, how can I carry on like this? How are you feeling? Because you've just upped the ante by doing the modelling side as well.
I'm just thinking of what's next, of I need to get more creative. I'm thinking just how to put out different images and to be different. I finally bought a digital camera.
What do you mean finally bought?
I've never bought one.
So what have you been using?
I just used my phone.
Oh, fair enough.
So that's how you started off. You just used images from your phone and then started off like that. Yeah. Brilliant.
And all the videos I just edit on like some apps and stuff. But I said to my husband, I need to up it now. I need really good quality stuff. So we bought a camera. But I don't even know what to do with it yet, because I could use my phone, because I don't carry it with me. Like even today we went out, I just used my phone to take images.
Well, you can't be doing a bad job if you've got Burberry, to be fair.
Yeah.
Harjot, right? I mean, if that was on your phone, I don't think you need the digital. I thought you were going to say you've got a Polaroid or something. No. Polaroid, is that what they call it?
That's a bit old school.
I said, let's get it. So yeah.
And I know you can't reveal what's next from what you said earlier, but how soon will we be seeing Sahib and such in more adverts? And
I think in the next couple of weeks. The one Sahib did was, again, probably a household British name. Everyone knows it. That should be out soon. And such is one, they are editing the images. So I'm hoping that stuff's out pretty soon as well.
And just a parenting question, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Do they fight like cat and dog? Because my kids, oh God.
I know, it's not really jammy, but they're best friends.
Are they?
They don't fight, no.
And has such been okay with, obviously, because with this Burberry, obviously you've done a lot of shoots. This one's really caught everyone's attention. How is such taking it?
We don't talk about it too much. To be honest, in last week we would go into another room. When uncles would send videos, they watched one on YouTube and they were really excited to see themselves. Like someone in India had done like a 6-minute YouTube video of the whole family, and it was insane, but they really thought it was really funny. They were like, oh, we made it, look, we're so glad we did Burberry. So yeah, we don't talk about it a lot, and we're very conscious that everything we do she's involved in.
To be fair, I mean, when she was saying it, you could tell how excited she was. And if that was me and that was my Taj or any of my siblings, I'll be like, what, this isn't fair. But she took it, she was so positive about it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So just as we come to the end of this episode, Harjot, can you give our listeners a bit of advice on if they want their children or any family member to get into modelling? What would you advise them?
I would, if you're, if it's to do with Dickish and it's about Sikhi, then definitely stay true to who you are and what your values are. Never compromise that for anyone, because people along the way will always try and, change it up, and you just got to stick it for your child. You have to show that you're proud of how you look. I also wouldn't ever pay a modelling agency for their services. When you initially sign up, you shouldn't be paying for it. Portfolio pictures, really, you pay for them. You can find a photographer or use a photographer they advise, but you don't need to pay for like admin fees and things like that. I don't agree with that, because your child potentially would be giving them a lot of exposure, giving them commission. So I think initially signing your child up shouldn't come with a cost. You can always Google, if you're in the UK, kind of the top 5 ones. There's definitely a few articles that I've seen where they name the best kind of agencies, and just A lot of time you can't. I used to blame the agency. I used to be like, why is he not getting jobs? It's not the agency, it's the brands. If the brands aren't putting out briefs to say, look, we want a diverse child, or we want an Asian child who's 4 and is 120 centimeters or something, the agency won't put that child across. So that's why it goes down to the brands rather than the agency.
Can I ask, this again might be a bit of a difficult question, just from what you said, what can we do as a community to get brands to stop doing that tick box exercise? And I know that's a really hard question because I don't know if you've got the answer for it, but to open it up so that more South Asians do have those opportunities. Is there anything we can do?
I mean, my kind of thing at the moment, what I'm saying to a lot of people is that I really only want to support brands that would support people like me. Like, I'm a big consumer, like ridiculously stupid consumer, from day dot, from having such, she had 40 baby shoes or something stupid. I was just a first time mum. It was just what I was doing. And I just think I spend a lot of money on my children, as do most parents. We do, going days out or things like that. And if you don't see your face within that brand, or you don't think that their morals kind of line up with you, now's the time to start being different. I get it. It's very easy to go fast fashion and Sainsbury's. Like, I love Sainsbury's clothes. I think it's great value, and their campaigns are quite diverse. So great. River Island Back to School campaign has got a child in a wheelchair and has got a Down syndrome child in it at the moment. Those are the kind of companies that you think, yes, you're doing the right thing, I'll support you, I will give you my hard-earned money. But if you're seeing traditionally these British kind of heritage companies, there are a few, they wouldn't cast my son. Why would I then go and buy their clothes?
The fact that you got such a positive response from the Burberry advert, hopefully that will inspire other brands to think, okay, that will give us more exposure if we get people from the South Asian community.
Yeah, I mean, people were putting facts out on the Burberry post. India is massive. Indian people like to be flashy. That's a fact. They love to go to weddings and spend thousands on outfits. They love their kids to look on point. So why would high-end companies not support you when we would go and, I know with Sahib, I was like, oh, he could just wear a normal collared t-shirt, but I like something different. I would go and spend the money on his clothes. And I think that Burberry did a very smart marketing move in that.
Lovely. Thank you so much for your time today, and also letting the kids stay awake slightly later than usual, which is obviously the most important part of this podcast. But we wish you all the luck, and the kids, we look forward to the next advert.
Thank you.
So thank you for your time today.
Thanks.
It's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, changing_suits, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.